My name is Ellie, and I'm going to be presenting The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer was written by Mark Twain, and it follows a young 12-year-old boy through his adventures. Tom is a very mischievous boy, and his best friends include Joe Harper and Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn is also quite a mischievous boy. Tom lives with his Aunt Polly and his younger brother Sid. On to the theme. So, the main theme of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is basically just to enjoy the joys of childhood. This can be shown, for example, the boys are able to just do pretty much whatever they want to do. They enjoy their life. They don't have to worry about like any of the stresses that adults do, things like that. Another example is when we see that the younger boys they go decide to be pirates or play pirates. That kind of goes into the last one, where they don't have to worry about the adulthood stresses. They get to be their inner kid whenever they want to be. And to their advantage also, being kids, they can get away with a lot more than being an adult. This is shown when Tom goes to get his Bible in church. He kind of lies about memorizing all of those verses. And had he been an adult, he would have gotten into quite a bit more trouble. And then a third reason is he and Becky got engaged. At their age, they're not really engaged, so they're kind of just like pretending, I guess. So it's not really meaning anything, whereas if they were adults, it would mean something and stuff like that. And onto the characters. So obviously, Tom is the main character. It's about Tom. He's a young boy. He has quite the imagination. He's also very mischievous and he's quite stubborn. And to add to all that, he's very adventurous. None of this helps to the fact that he's always getting in trouble, whereas it pretty much just kind of leads to it. Another main character is Tom's best friend, Huckleberry Finn. He's also very mischievous and always getting into trouble. He's very playful, logical, compassionate, and realistic. Tom is only about 12 years old, and Huckleberry Finn is 13 or 14. Another really important character is Aunt Polly. Aunt Polly is the one who's caring for Tom Sawyer because Tom's family, or his mother, ended up passing away. She loves him very much and wants what's best for him, yet she also loves just letting him be a kid. She's kind, caring, compassionate, and loving towards him, but does have to discipline him every so often. One example we see is when he skipped school and decided to go swimming instead. When he got home, Aunt Polly made him whitewash the fence. In this example, we can also see the fact that he's quite mischievous because instead of him doing the work, he ended up having his friends pay him to do the work for him. And the plot, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, starts out as just Tom living with Aunt Polly in a small town of St. Petersburg, Missouri. Mainly just getting to know the characters and just to start off the story. The rising action is when they would go to the graveyard and they ended up seeing the murder. The climax is when Injun Joe dies. He ends up dying due to starvation because he got stuck in the cave for too long. The falling action is people are searching for Tom and Becky because they're also in the cave. And the resolution is Tom and Becky are finally found. For the literary worth, I believe it does show literary worth very well. I would say it definitely is considered a classic novel because it portrays many lessons. It is also very clearly written in the time that it was written. It shows how kids, they would actually go outside and play with each other rather than how they do nowadays and just sit inside on their phone. Or sometimes these days they're not even on their or hanging out with kids anymore. They're just inside by themselves hanging out on their phones texting each other. Back then they didn't have any technology like this, so that's really kind of a hitting point on how we know for a fact that it was definitely written back in the time that it was written.